Okay, we're going to do number 1 on this video. So we have a piecewise function. Let's kind of notice it was only 2 of them on this one, and the boundary here is sort of 2. You've got this one is less than 2, so that means it's going to be on the left side of where x is 2, and then x is greater than or equal to 2 means this one, the second one here, will be on the right side of 2. So let's draw that boundary there first. So let's draw that at 2 here. Okay, now let's graph this first one. So it's got a y-intercept of 2 and then a slope of -5. So I'm going to go up to 2, and then that would be -5 over 1. So I would fall 5 and then run 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then run 1. Now let's draw this graph. And when we draw this graph, we're not going to draw through the whole thing here, but we're only going to draw that graph where x is less than 2. So where x is less than 2 would be on the left side over here. So when I draw my line with my straight edge, I'm only going to draw it up to that border. I'm not going to cross that border because I can't be bigger than 2. And when I hit the border, notice it's just less than, so I wouldn't include that point there. Okay, now let's do the other one. So on my other one, it's greater than or equal to 2, so it's going to be over here on the right side. So let's go to the y-intercept of -2, and then we're going to rise 2, and then run 1. Okay, now we line my straight edge up with that. Now when we draw this line, it's only going to be, the line that I'm going to draw is only going to be on the right side, because this is for values that are just greater than or equal to 2. So if you want to here, you could take a pencil and just draw the whole line, but anything that would be on the left side you would have to erase. I'm just going to draw it and line this up, and when I draw it, I'm only going to do it from the right side here. So I'm not actually going to go through those 2 points, but I'm going to start it right there and go forward. Now, it was greater than or equal to, so that means on the border, it would actually be closed there. All right, there's number 1. All right, number 2. Okay, and number 2 really doesn't have so much of a border, but this is a line where you only have one value restricted. So basically, this is going to be a line right here that has a hole in it at 2. So let's graph 3x plus 2. So I'm going to go to +2, and then we're going to rise 3 and run 1. Okay, but when I cross the x value of 2, I'm going to jump it because x cannot equal 2, so it can't cross 2. Now, if you need to there, put you a dotted line on 2 to maybe remind you. Okay, you really wouldn't have to. So remember, I can't cross 2. So when I get my straight edge and I'm going to draw my line, when I get to 2, I'm going to jump it. Let me do that again. So notice, there's where 2's at. I can't touch 2. Okay, so at the value of 2, we're going to have a hole right there. Now, the second one that we're going to do, this is just really, you could think of it as a horizontal line, but if it's only at one value, it's really not a horizontal line, but it's a point. So really and truly, this is just the point 2 because there's the x value, and then the y value is 7. So all you have to do is graph the point 2, 7. I think really, let's See what happens is it goes in and it just fills in that point now. So I think really what should happen on this one, the hole was really close, is the hole really happened there at 8. I just didn't draw my line good enough there. So let me try this one again. I'm going to draw it with a pen, that way it'll be skinnier. Let me start over on this one. So here we go again at 2. And then we're going to rise 3. And then run 1. And let me draw it better this time. Again, I'm going to jump over 2. I think I really drew it steep enough the first time. So I'll jump over 2, which should be about right in there. There we go. So really that hole is more at 8. Okay, so I drew the line better that time, and now I'm going to graph 2, 7, which would just be under it right there. Okay, so I had to be really accurate when I drew that one, since the point was so close to the hole. All right, number 3, and this one has 3 pieces. So let's look. These have inequalities, so I have some boundaries. I've got some that's less than 2, between -2 and 5, and then greater than or equal to 5. So let's go to -2. Let's put us a boundary here. And then at 5. So I'm going to have sort of part of the graph on the left side of -2. So this graph right here is going to be over here on the left side of 2. This graph is going to be in between the 2. And then this graph will be on the right of 5 over here. So let's start with the first one. Let's do -4 is my y-intercept. And then my slope is -1, so I'm going to fall 1, run 1. Okay, so think about this here. When I draw this line, it's really not going to go through these 2 points. So let's really think about, where is this line supposed to exist? Is it supposed to be sort of in between the lines? Is it over here to the left? Or is it over here to the right? Well, it's where x is less than -2. So where x is less than -2 would be in this region. So when I line up my points here, I'm going to line these up, but I'm only going to draw it from the left of 2. So that would be basically from here over. And now that's just less than right there, so I don't include it, so put an open circle. Okay, so now for the middle one, you have f of x equal 4, so that's just like y equals 4, it's just a horizontal line. And then that horizontal line will be in between -2 and 5, which is in between those 2 lines. So we'll do a 4, but I'm not going to draw it all the way across the graph. Instead, I'm only going to draw it between those 2 boundaries there. So we'll go from here to here. And on the ends here, they don't have equal to's, so both of them will be open. Okay, let's get to the last one. So the last one there is x plus 4, so that's a y-intercept of 4. So be that point. And then I'm going to rise 1, run 1. Oh, I missed that. I should have went on the y-axis. Okay, so let's go back. The y-intercept there is 4, and then the slope is 1, so I will rise 1, run 1. Okay, now when I draw this line is for only greater than or equal to 5. So that means it can only exist over here to the right side of 5. So I'm going to line them up with my straight edge, but then I'm only going to draw that so this to the left of 5. So there's where the graph is actually going to start and then go from there. Right, it was greater than or equal to, so it'll be closed, and then it'll go from there.